Welcome to another episode of Selling South Bay. My name is Aaron Alcides with Alpha Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. And today we're going to be talking to one of those important pieces of a real estate transaction, and that is the lender. And today we have here Mr. Fernando Diaz. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. We really want to appreciate you for letting us into your office and to be able to talk to you a little bit about what is it that you do, who you are as a person, and why you've been doing this for so long.
Well, too long, but no, we can get into that later.
Well, actually, how long have you been in business doing lending?
This is my 27th year in the business.
Wow.
So it's the only thing I've done since the day I walked out of college and graduated college. Yeah.
Man, and why do you been doing this so long?
Well, when I was in college, I had an internship with a big developer here in Southern California at the time, but I don't even know if he's around. It's Cal Coast Development. I think he was the fifth or sixth largest builder in California, and that sort of exposed me to real estate. Then I finished my economics degree and finance at LMU. I had, through that relationship, I met a gentleman that ran a company at the time called Weyerhaeuser Venture and Mortgage, and he is the one that got me into the industry. And actually, I owe a lot to him. He's actually very renowned in the industry. His name was Don Lang, and he got me in the industry, put me together with a lady that knew the business very, very well, and I owe a lot to her. She definitely helped me, get started.
Nice.
And from there, the rest is history. Just took off.
Well, isn't it amazing? And the more and more I talk to business people and business owners in this area, is that there is always those people that are mentors, people that influence our careers, people that just help us achieve certain things. And I'm glad that you had those people to guide you and to be able to put you on a path that is actually long lasting. I mean, sometimes people change careers or change jobs so often
No,
that it's just
I have
crazy.
a lot of friends that have jumped around many, many times over the years, and they're still trying to figure out what they're trying to do at 50. So yeah, it's interesting. I've been blessed, very lucky to have fallen into this. Yeah.
Well, good to hear that. But tell us, Fernando, what do you do? I mean, I know you have a beautiful family and your lovely wife. I have the privilege of knowing her. And but what do you do for fun?
Fun? Well, I like to do a lot of things for fun. So one of the things, and obviously you guys here at home can't see all around me, but there's a lot of pictures of race cars and race driving, and me in some of them, and some different things. But as a kid, I grew up around racing, so IndyCar, sports car racing, that kind of stuff, Formula One. And I was able to attend many of these events, a lot of them with my dad at the time when I was
Nice.
young. And so, anyway, it's just sort of something that, kind of I just understood and grew a passion around. And I was fortunate to be able to start when I was young, also myself. And that's, I would say, hobby number one, which is sort of fading with age because it does get rough with age to get beat up in there. So, and then the other thing is, and I think I ride motorcycles, but I like to tour. So we
Yeah.
go all over the nation. I've probably done, I'm going to say, at least 40 states in the United States over the years. And yeah, I'm getting ready to take off another trip. Probably, a 3,600-mile trip coming up here. So yeah.
What kind of motorcycle do you ride?
I have a Harley Davidson. So it's a big touring bike. And it's very comfortable and has all the
Nice.
features, basically all the features almost that a car has in built in. So it's very nice to just kind of get away and see America that way. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things that I do admire about you is how you have set up your business.
hmm
You have such a great team around you that allows you the freedom to
Yeah,
these
that's part
things.
of it. And I will say that, when I speak to real estate teams or to realtors that are trying to get themselves into the next level by building a team or acquiring an assistant, that is something that I've been very blessed with. So I've got two gals that have been with me
Yeah.
for over 20 years. And I think that says a lot about the way that we run the business here and the way that I've done this. Because as you know, in real estate, you see assistants are almost, in and out, in and out, in and out, with a lot of teams and a lot of
Yeah.
people. Whereas my assistants are also licensed just like I am. So they have the same right to go out and try to do what I do, which is great, but they choose and they enjoy, and there's enough value for them here just to be part of the team. And it's given them a great life too. So it's a win-win for all of us. That's all I can say. Yeah.
And that's super important. for people to stay together and for people to do a great job, if it's a win-win for everybody, I mean, the more encouraged
Yeah.
you are to make you successful.
No, and I think you have to look at it is, I look at, yeah, you have to be successful so that you can help your family and support your family. But I also look at it as I don't just have my family to help. I also have to help them. So, they're part of my life. They're part of my team. So, it's important for me to also succeed and produce because it affects them. So, yeah.
Well, that's very nice to hear because that is totally the way I think about taking people on, helping them, developing them, and if I provide value, they'll stay with me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's great. Well, let's talk a little bit about the market.
Ooh,
We are
it's
in a
interesting
very
times.
interesting
Interesting
times.
times. Yes. Yes, interesting times. Well, I mean, as you guys know out there, we were obviously at historic low rates in the twos for quite a while, and then at the beginning of the year, we popped up a little bit into the low to mid threes. But then, after about the first quarter of this year, things have taken off significantly, as you know, and have changed dramatically. And it wasn't so much that rates went up, which it was the pace and the dramatic pace that rates have
Right.
gone up. So, as we sit here today, the markets have gone basically from the threes into the sixes or low sixes, shall we say. And that's a significant change for a lot of consumers out there. So it's definitely something where, we're looking at different ways to get people qualified, different products. Adjustable rate mortgages now are coming back. They're making a comeback, obviously. First time buyer programs are also making a comeback. But I think that a lot of people out there I hear are panicking or they feel like the sky is falling. And the reality is because we've been for years in a market where it was chaos, craziness, 30, 40, 50 offers on every house. You had to bid over 100 grand plus in some cases to even have a shot at it. That doesn't say you're going to win it, just to have a shot at it. And the reality is, I look at this now as we're back to a normal market. We're back to where, it isn't 50 offers on a house. It's maybe, 2 to 4, 2 to 5. You don't have to crazily overbid a house. You can actually negotiate with a seller, maybe get some closing costs or some repairs done on a house. So this is, if you've been in the business as long as I've been, this is normal. This is what a
Yeah.
normal market tends to look like. Nice and easy, nice, easy pace. It's okay.
It's interesting that you say that because the way I actually market my listings, even before this market, I have always been able to generate multiple offers.
hmm
It's just how how I price, and then I put the seller in the driver's seat.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. I could actually predict, how many offers I was going to get based on pricing, and now it's getting a little harder.
Yeah.
Before I used to say, well, we're going to get 7 to 10, 10 to 12. Now, if I get 3 or 4, it's great.
No, and that's a normal market.
Yeah,
Three to
yeah,
four, 2 to 4, whatever you want to call it, is what's normal. And I think the markets will find their way. So the reality is, it's not about the rates and it's not about the price. It's about affordability and the payments. So as rates slide forward, prices will correct a bit to come down to wherever that happy threshold is for people. Here in the South Bay, especially,
right.
they can afford them. So the market will self correct based on that. There's no reason to panic. It'll take care of itself.
Yeah, and this is my opinion, and of course you can tell me yours. We're not in a situation to where we were in 2005, 2006, going
Um,
into 2007. It's nothing like that. That was a financial issue. One of the important two things to keep in mind is that right now properties have equity,
oh,
and
tons.
a lot of people actually that are buying or bought in the last few years since the last time the market went down, people have been actually properly financed, which is
Yes.
what was not
No.
being done before, correct?
Everybody has skin in the game. Is
Yep.
basically what's happening, which means you have down payment
Yep.
into these homes, whereas during the crash, everything was zero down. Nobody really had skin in the game, and you could buy multiple properties with no skin in the game. So, obviously that created the problem that we had back then during the crash. But I think it's definitely different today than it was back then.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I remember those days because I was in banking, and I remember hearing from people that they would actually buy a house and get cash back.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that, right?
It was just crazy times. We lived through them. Crazy times, absolutely.
Well, we definitely, people are still buying and selling.
hmm
So life continues to happen. I remember you giving me this flyer that shows rates going back to, I think, the
74,
70s or 74.
74.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's incredible that at times people bought homes at 14,
Yeah.
16%. So, right now on the sixes, the one thing though to keep in mind is that if you have been pre-approved, 3 or 4 months ago, and you considering buying, check with your lender again,
Yeah.
because is my understanding correct that 1% takes
Hmm.
away 10% of the buying
Approximately
power?
10% of your buying
Yeah.
power. Yeah.
So if you were qualified for $1 million, now your buying power is down to 7.
Yeah. 750.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and also, once again, that affordability and that comfort zone. So I have many clients that I talk to that may qualify for $1 million house, but when we see what the payment scenario looks like at that point, now they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe now 800 or 850 is better for us, just because it keeps us more in that zone where we're happy. So it all comes down to that, with consumers. Yeah.
So, Fernando, how long have you been with Homebridge?
Wow, Homebridge. Well, Homebridge bought Prospect Mortgage. I'm
Got
going
it.
to say I think about 5 years ago. So that took then. Prior to that, I was with IndyMac.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and IndyMac, that was only a 1 year thing. So IndyMac took over from American Home. So as the real estate crash happened, we were American Home back then. Then IndyMac didn't have retail, so they took our whole retail platform. It was a good deal there at the time. But then obviously during that crumble, IndyMac failed also. So then from there it became Prospect and so on and so forth. And now it's Homebridge Financial. Yeah.
So, what would you suggest to a first-time home buyer or somebody that's looking to downgrade, or upgrade? What would be your recommendations for getting ready, especially on this market?
Well, I would say that the first thing you need to do is talk to a lender before you do anything, and know your options, know exactly where you stand in terms of how much do I need to close the transaction,
Right.
and what do the payments look like. And that's where you figure out, okay, where do I need to be? Because the payment and your comfort zone with payment is what's going to, and also the amount of money that you have as a down payment. Putting that all together, it's almost like a recipe, like making a soup or something, is going to determine the range of house or condo or townhouse, because with associations that you should be in. So that is the first step. And from there, typically when I meet with a client, it's not really about the maximum you qualify for. Obviously, here's your max. We do take him there. It's also about, more importantly, the payments, because the reality is they're the ones that have to make the payments, not us.
And
Once we close a transaction with them. So
and
yeah.
that's absolutely correct. And that's why at times it's really important, or we at least find out what
Yep.
are they comfortable, what payment they're comfortable with, and then kind of work it
Yeah.
backwards.
And
Yeah.
then actually right now in this market, there are some tricks. There are buy down options right now that
Yep.
used to be popular. Wow, I would say in the early 2000s and late 90s. They're coming back because of the increase in rates. We have a lock and shop program, as you know, we've talked about it before, which is great. So if you're in the process of either trying to sell or trying to buy, and you're afraid that, hey, over the next 2, 3, 4 months, rates could get further away from me, well, we can lock you now and protect you, for 3, 4, 5 months
By
before
the
you jump
way,
out there.
if you're a buyer or a seller looking to downgrade or upgrade, that is such an important key, important product that he just mentioned. Because normally, on the normal financing, you have to secure the home that you're buying before they can lock your rate.
Yep, that's the case.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that product, because before you needed to have the property that you're going to buy to be able to lock your rate. But this product allows you to actually lock the rate, secure the financing prior to you having a property
Yep.
identified.
Yep. So as I was telling you earlier, another time when we spoke, was I was surprised that I would think we'd have more just first time buyers and all those people that are out there looking, taking advantage of this program, which there are some,
Right.
but the realtors out there are bringing them to us with their sellers. Because as you know, selling a property takes time,
Right.
preparing it, staging it, painting it, whatever it is that you're going to do, then putting it on the market. And obviously today it's not selling as fast as it used to. So these people that are in the process of this are the ones that are taking advantage mostly of this, and we have a few of them that are locked into the low fives, and
Well,
and right now they're in the process of closing out the sale of their house, and trust me, they are jumping up and down, because if it was like today, you'd be probably in the low sixes. So
well,
yeah,
it's in the last 3 4 weeks, we're actually seeing some significant changes in the rates, right?
Yeah, no, that's why these guys are, they're very happy right now that they took advantage of this opportunity or this product because it has protected them. Now, also keep in mind that that doesn't mean that's the end of it. If the market were to improve, or if there was something better or something that we see that may suit you better at the time, we could easily go in that direction. You're not committed 100% to this either. So that's, it's basically like a win-win.
Right.
Yeah, all around.
Well, if any of you out there are looking for a great lender, we have Fernando Diaz. We are going to put the information on this video, so if you need to contact them, and it's really important for especially the realtors out there to have put a great team together, and he is a great team member. Fernando, I really appreciate you taking the time and helping me with this. And
Sure, no
uh,
problem.
by the way, if any of you out there, you have a business that you would like to promote in this channel, give me a call, and I'll be happy to come out and promote your business. Once again, this is Aaron Alcides from Alpha Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Thank you.
Thank you.